Hey everybody, I'm Glove. I run the community Discord for UFO 50 over at 50games.fans. If you want to check us out, talk about the games, play multiplayer online, or just make funny tier lists, we're all set up over there. There are 3,000 of us and growing. So I wanted to make a video for the Discord and for anybody who wants to talk about UFO 50, but this is not a ranking of the actual games. This is not my personal preference to which game is better and all that stuff. They're all unique and delightful. I wouldn't rank the games themselves, no. But the music, oh, this is where the true hardest ranking lies. If you guys don't know, all the music in all of the games were made by the one, the only, Eric Circa. The guy who made the music for Spelunky and Downwell and Ridiculous Fishing, and he is a skilled game developer in his own right. He's made over a dozen of the games in UFO 50, but he's an even better composer than he is game maker. So, let's talk about what Eric brings to the whole collection, and how their soundtracks and approaches stack up against each other. Special mention, before I begin the actual chronological left to right going through all the games, the main menu theme, and the boot up music, the Cracktro demo scene music, the jungle, great song, I can't really give them a tier, but special mention, the main menu theme is great, and the intro music is great. So, I don't know if I would put them anywhere on this ranking, but good to know. There is music outside of the games themselves, and it's good. So let's start actual tier list time with Barbuta. Okay, Barbuta is, I don't think I can put it in D. In fact, let's do a little thing where I add a row below. This is gonna be the Barbuta tier. There's no music in Barbuta. There's hardly any sound at all. Sorry, Barbuta fans. It is unrankable. There's no Warren Bossing say. There is no music in Barbuta. It's Barbuta tier. There you go. So, okay. We're starting off there, okay? No music at all. Next up, Bug Hunter. This game has one song in it. The intro. So it can technically be ranked. Is that song catchy or impactful? No, not really. Bug Hunter is one of my favorite games in the collection. It's in my top 5. Anybody can tell you, Glove likes Bug Hunter. It has nothing to do with the music. The music plays a very little part in Bug Hunter because there's no gameplay music. It's just the intro. So unfortunately, this one's going to have to go in D. It has a song. And that's it. It has a song. It's D tier. Sorry. Ninpek. This one is a banger. It has a first real banger tune. Catchy, memorable. It only has one trick up its sleeve, but it's a good one. I will give this a B. Not my favorite, but a good effort. I like dun, 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 dun. It's pretty good. You're gonna hear this song for only about 9 minutes at a time. A regular run of Ninpek is not very long. So even though it's kind of repetitive, it has a lot of cool parts to it. I think it's B. I think it's fine. Paint Chase. Okay. I'm on the fence about this one. It has multiple solid tracks in it, but it's flanked by 2 games with arguably better songs in them, Ninpek and Magic Garden. I think both of the themes in those games outclass the stuff in Paint Chase. The Versus theme is better. I will put that on. The Versus theme in Paint Chase is good, but the normal gameplay is not as good. The ending theme is pretty good. It makes you feel victorious, considering, you know, how hard you have to fight to finish Paint Chase. But I don't find myself coming back to it that frequently, so in the vein of other things being better than it, I think C for Paint Chase. C for Chase. Chase and Paint. Magic Garden is next. This gameplay tune kicks ass, and you're going to hear it a lot, because you die quickly in this game, and you can run it for a long time if you're good at it. I love the beginning of it. Yeah, it's good. It's a good song. There's a variety of tones throughout the track. It's a good being, it'll get stuck in your head, much like Velgress. And it has a good victory track. It's got arcade flavor. It's catchy. It's good. I'm going to give this one a B. Because there's not much more to it than that. I think just like Ninpek, pretty good songs. Not amazing. Not like best in show. But good. Good game. Mortol. Man, try to get this gameplay theme out of your head. When you've heard it for long enough, and you will because it plays in every level, you will not get it out of your head. Dun 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 dun. Xana was the one who likened this to Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin, and now I can't unhear it too. She's into superstition. I hear it too. I hear it too. I have not made the mashup for that, but I'm sure someone else will. The ending theme for this, interesting enough, also comes back for Mortol Two and Hyper Contender's ending. So the ending for Mortal 1 segues into the opening for Mortal 2, which I think is cool. I don't know why it plays for Hyper Contender's ending. I think Eric just wanted to reuse some of the musical motif for it. But, you know, the gameplay track is so good, and Mortal also is so good, I'm gonna have to give this one our first A. That track that plays in Mortal 1 is a banger. It's a great track. And I don't get sick of it after hearing it all the time. I just straight up don't get sick of it. Velgress. Oh, man. This is gonna be our first S tier. I'm gonna say it. Velgress. That first opening track is one of the best level themes in the entire soundtrack of UFO 50. It's got bits of Downwell and Metroid or Kid Icarus in here. It's got that sort of, you know, it's got a good measured beat to it. It's driving. You feel like, you know, you're in it. The music pumps you up. And as soon as it starts, when you die, you're like, you're back in. One more run. It's got that perfect lead-in that you want for a game that's replayable, randomly generated, or procedurally generated. It's like an arcadey feel. But it's way above Magic Garden because it has more than one song. And they're all good. The shop theme rules. It's a good foreshadowing of the future amazing shop themes that we're going to get in the collection. This is the first one. First game with a shop. I guess technically Bug Hunter has a shop, but you know what I mean. A separate screen where you buy things with separate music. And level 2 theme, level 4 theme. They're all good. They're all really, really good. Velgress is an S. It's sublime. No other words for it. Velgress is sublime. Planet Zoldath. Alright, I like this Overworld song. Alright, I do. I like it, but I will tell you that it will grate on you. It grates on you more than the songs in Mortol and Velgress because of the gameplay in Zoldath, which is a lot of walking around and exploring. And another minus, every time you get an item, it resets the song to the beginning. So, yeah, you're gonna hear the beginning of the song, and it's not as good as Velgress and Mortol. The dungeon theme is minimalist, so it's a good contrast to the Overworld song. But overall, I'm gonna have to give this a C, like in Paint Chase. Not overly impressive, not one of Eric's stronger moments, but it's good for what it is. Attactics. Ooh, great fast-paced action theme for a fast-paced game. This one will get stuck in your head, I agree. Much like Mortol's, there's not much other music in Attactics. You just get the one gameplay song. But it's a good track. It's a good track. Much like Mortol, I think this is also going to get an A. A for Attactics. Great song. Devilition. Okay, this one is interesting. This borrows a lot of musical motifs from a different composer who is not named Eric Circa. Diabolica was the original game that Devilition is based on, and it was made so long ago before Derek and John had ever met Eric. I don't even remember the guy's name. But instead of creating an entirely new theme, Eric decided to make some callbacks to that original kind of game, which is neat. It has the that's a callback to the original Diabolica. The music, the intro music also is appropriately old-fashioned. It feels like an RPG intro title crawl. Excuse me. Whereas the actual placement theme of placing the pieces is the one you're going to be hearing all the time. I can't say I'm a huge fan of that placement music. The detonate music is alright. It's dun 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 dun. It's kind of like leading you up to a big moment of just watching the pieces explode. But it doesn't really feel all that, like, epic or exciting. I don't like Devilition as a whole. Personally, doesn't really appeal to me. As a musical piece, I think it does its job, setting the stage for planning out a chain reaction that'll solve a bunch of problems. But it doesn't really do that much for me. One point I will have to give it, though, is the boss theme, which, spoilers if you haven't beaten Devilition, but the last level is a boss. That theme is good, is really good. So I don't think I'll give it a D for, you know, disliking it, but probably right next to Zoldath. C tier. C tier Devilition. C for Devilition. Kit Club. Ooh, okay. Both the gameplay and boss themes here are fantastic. They are like solid arcade tunes with memorable sections that stick out in your head and just make you want to play Kit Club. It's got the same feel as like a game like Mappy for me. Like, just hearing it puts me in this Namco arcade mood where I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play Kit Club. It's got that. It's got good melodies to it. I just wish there was more. I think if there was another stage theme, Kit Club could maybe rise to the tier of S, because it's just instantly recognizable and iconic. But since there's so few music, I'm gonna have to put it in A. Still great. Great. The tracks that are here are excellent. Really, really good. Avianos. Okay. Interesting. This has a few songs that I would call tone setters. It has a good intro that is like high stakes, and then when you get into the game, it's silence. Until you get a blessing, or you enter a battle. That's how the music works in Avianos. And the blessing music is alright, it's a very short loop. And the battle music, it works, but it doesn't... It's not gonna win any awards. It's alright. I think C tier for Avianos. What's here works. Technically, it functions, alright? It's like if Bug Hunter had a gameplay song that was a loop of like 6 seconds. And it's the same thing. You know, it's a strategy game. You're really focused on the gameplay and the mechanics, of which Avianos has a lot. Same with Bug Hunter. So, it really doesn't have time to be playing, like, catchy, impressive music all the time. Would it be a better game if it did? Yes. But it doesn't, so it's not in the running. C tier. But it has more songs than Bug Hunter, so obviously it's slightly higher. Mooncat! Talk about firing on all cylinders. Oh my god, Mooncat is an Eric game. So he just stuffed it with amazing music everywhere. Which is hilarious, because it's the spiritual sequel to Barbuta, a game that's so low it doesn't have any music. In fact, I should probably make this tier gray. There you go, Barbuta. It's gray. But it does not stay silent at all. It's silent at the beginning, when you're getting a feel for how the legs work. Then you get into the song, the first stage, Forest A starts, and you get these weird jams with odd time signatures, because, you know, they're just a suggestion for Eric. Microtones, the forest music, the swimming music, Forest B, oh my god. The fortress music. These songs, if you play Mooncat, they'll stick with you. They'll stick with you for a long time. You're going to be dreaming about it. They'll stick with you for the rest of your life. And they are surprising and delightful, much like the experience of playing Mooncat. Mooncat's an S. I don't know what to tell you. That's all there is to it. Mooncat's S. Bushido Ball. I had to think about this one because there are little actual, like, full-length songs in this one. There's a bunch of victory snippets for each character, but they're not a loop. They're just like 2-second like that. Regis calls the lights down. Tomoe, where do you think you deserve to be placed on the music tier list? You know, it has a character select theme. That's okay. I think Pingolf's character select screen, which is similar melodically, it's not as good as Pingolf's. And the ending theme isn't really much to write home about. It's just kind of there. It's not really all that fulfilling, even all the hard work you put into it. Like I say, you. Some people beat Bushido Ball like that. Easiest thing of their life. Me, not so. I had to continue 42 times. I had a hard time. I was really banging my head against the wall. Anyway, not that important. The music in Bushido Ball. It's D. It's like Bug Hunter, honestly. What's here is just not that satisfying. It has music, technically. They're okay. They're kind of weak, honestly. The music in Bushido Ball is not the best aspect. The mechanics, great. Music, could take it or leave it. Block Koala. Okay, this game has a few, like, playful songs. It's got the map and the gameplay, and they'll get stuck in your head, much like other, like, good gameplay songs, like Mortol, Attactics, and Kid Club. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put this one in A. You know? The gameplay and map songs stick with me for a really long time, even after I play Block Koala. And I play Block Koala in, like, small, minuscule chunks. I would do 1 level a day. 1 or 2 levels a day. I would not play Block Koala for hours in a sitting. But I could still tell you how that song goes. I could tell you how Block Koala goes. And the map song, I think, is better than the gameplay song. But anyway. It's a lot of singing, alright? A for Block Koala. Good music. Camouflage! Oh my god, I love this game so much. I feel like this game's soundtrack apes a lot more of the TurboGrafx chip, the PC Engine chip, than other songs, especially Bonk's Adventure. It has a really catchy gameplay song. It's even catchier than Block Koala's. So I'm inclined to give it a similar score. It has a great map theme too, which is a little more it's a little more chill. So it's not super duper impressive in terms of like, oh my god, best songs in the game. But it's really good, and I think about Camouflage's music frequently, and I don't think I ever get tired of them. Much like Block Koala. So I will put it, yeah, I will also put it in A tier. Not quite S, because there's not a lot of music, and I think the ending theme is just okay. But still, A tier for Camouflage. Campanella, we got it. We got the first Campanella game by Eric Circa, and boy oh boy, this game is a tour de force. Much like Mooncat, Campanella has some of Eric's best compositions, of which we will see more of them in the future. And every single one slaps. Oh my god, all the world themes, the bonus stage that's a reference to Zoldath's but better because it's catchier, and the final boss theme is memorable too. Like every song in Campanella is good. It's S. It's crazy. There's a lot of good music in Campanella. It's S tier. There's no way around it. Campanella 1 rules. It's, oh, I'm thinking about playing it right now. Just to boot up the music. Down, 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 down. That's great. Great stuff. Level 1, World 2, even World 3, yeah. Okay, Golfaria. This game has 3 songs, and all 3 songs are impactful. Right? You get the cave, you get the deep part for the ending, but the overworld song, oh my god, the overworld song in Golfaria is awesome. It's one of my favorites in the entirety of UFO 50. That overworld song, it gets stuck in my head all the time. And I didn't even play Golfaria for that long. I played it for like 2 hours. I did beat it eventually, but yeah, this is A tier. This is A tier. It's not full-blown S, because I don't think the other 2 songs are as good as the overworld theme, but man, it's It's got one amazing overworld theme. I love that. Big Bell Race. Alright, fitting, energetic music. It feels playful. You know, when you're in a race in Big Bell Race, it works. You know, you're jumping and jiving. You're floating. You're basically Campanella, but worse. I'm impressed with the arcadey feel of these tracks surrounding the gameplay, but it doesn't get there for me. I don't keep coming back to Big Rail Race frequently, so yeah, it's just a C tier. He did end up, interesting fact, he did end up reusing the results screen for this in Fist L's ending, which is odd place to use it, but sure. More Eric time. It's Warptank. I don't think I've ever heard a soundtrack like Warptank's. Every time I expect Eric to zig, he zags. It's jaunty, contemplative, and much like Mooncat, it's got this weird magnetic charm to it. It's like potato chips. I can't stop eating it until I've had the whole bag. When I got Warptank, when it clicked, I just played it straight through. I really, really love Warptank. Oh my god, the red, the sewers, the hub theme. Yeah, I think every song in Warptank is great. I think it's S. Much like Campanella. Are you noticing a pattern here? I'm noticing a pattern. It's almost like Eric games have the best music or something. If you don't count Velgress, but still, you know. We'll be seeing a lot of great music, don't worry. Warptank is S tier. All there is to it. Great freaking game. Great song. Great songs. Multiple good songs. Waldorf's Journey. Alright, so the gameplay theme has this, like, dreamlike quality to it. Not a lot of other games come close to matching it, really. It cannot be overstated. I'm impressed by his ability to combine that sort of, like... That sort of floaty, dreamlike music in the single player with, like, the jauntiest, dancing, two-player battle mode theme I've ever heard. It's complete opposite ends of the spectrum, but they work. They really work. I think about this soundtrack a lot, and what he was trying to get across with it. The feelings that Waldorf gives you, both in single-player and two-player mode, and I think he nailed it. It's not one of my all-time favorite soundtracks, but it is very excellent for what it does. And yeah, there's not a lot of music in it. The ending theme is also kind of just okay. So I think A tier. A tier for Waldorf's. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, Porgy. Okay. Porgy has only 5 tracks, but every single one is fantastic in its own way. From the moment you are in the shallows, or when Shallow starts playing, or when Abyss starts playing, I'm like hooked. He got his damn hooks in me, I tell you. Excellent soundscape for a deep sea exploration game, especially compared to its brother in Divers. It's like twinsies games. Brother, Porgy is the sister, Divers is the brother, and Porgy is S tier. Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh my god. When I heard Shallows, I was totally down for Porgy. And then I heard Abyss, and I'm just like, yo, this song kicks ass. Porgy has a couple songs, and they're all bangers. There's no bad song in Porgy. They're all great. Onion Delivery has one banger song, and I do keep coming back to it over and over again. Day Job and technically Overtime are worth booting up the game for, just to hear that song. I'm one of those guys that will boot up a game in UFO 50 just to, can I just hear that song again? That's all it's got going for it, so I don't really think I can give it an A or an S, but yeah, probably B tier. Ninpek and Magic, I think Onion Delivery is right around in that same ballpark. Great song, worth booting up the game for. I'm not going to tell everybody, hey, you guys got to listen to the Onion Delivery soundtrack, but, because, you know, there's not that much going for it. But What's Here is great. What's Here is good. It's good. Ooh, caramel. Caramel, whatever, however you guys want to say it. If you want to alternate caramel, or caramel, whatever. This is probably not the best, but it's one of the best shoot 'em up soundtracks in UFO 50. It has a strong foot forwards with the prologue song and the Snack Planet themes, which you will hear a lot because you're going to die a lot. But then you get to the first bonus stage, you get Orb Shower, and you got something special on your hands. That song rules. It's energetic, it's sweet, and it's as fun as it can possibly be. And I don't think there's a bad track in Caramel Caramel. I think they're all great. So another S tier. Yep. Caramel Caramel. Caramel Caramel, whatever. This is S. Love it. It's S for sweet. Party House. Whoo, these songs are catchy. This game is like a damn jukebox. You got jams, you can just put them on at any time. Get people snapping, get people in a good mood, dancing. Put it on at your next party, and I guarantee you, the wild buddies will come strolling in through the door. Going like, hey, what's up? We heard you invited 500 wild buddies.
500.
We're here to party. And I guarantee you the cops will not be called. Guarantee you, personally, if you put the party house music on and invite all your wild buddies, no cops. Glove guarantee. All the songs in Party House are amazing. They'll stick with you for a long time. No notes. It's an S. Like Caramel Caramel. They're all great. I can hear them in my head right now just talking about Party House. Hotfoot. This match theme is catchy. It's really fun. I know I'm going to keep saying catchy. I'm sorry, but it's true. It is. That match theme perfectly embodies the chaos, the competition, and discovery. And that's exactly what the devs were going for when they were designing UFO 50. The draft and ending themes aren't quite as good. They're kind of, to me, more in like the Big Bell Race style of songs. More C tier. But that match theme is really good. They don't detract from the overall experience of playing Hotfoot. Hotfoot's great. This is an A tier soundtrack. I think that song is so good, much like Golfaria. I think it deserves to be in the A tier. Because of when you hear it, you think instantly iconic. Chaos. Discovery. Competition. That's it. I really should have another C word, but I couldn't think of one. Chaos, competition. Cleats. That's a... That's a kick club thing. Chaos, competition, club. Sure. Okay, Divers. This game has more of a spookier take on deep sea exploration than Porgy does. And it returns really good results. Great moments are scattered about in like every track. And I'll be returning to them over and over. Just to wonder how Eric pulled this off. I believe for both its atmosphere and musical direction, Divers is an A. Absolutely. Great music in here. Maybe not... It's not geared towards being catchy, so it doesn't have that aspect that some of the other songs, soundtracks in A tier has. But it's impressive. It's really impressive when you look at it as a body of work. The shop theme is great too. The shop, the little melody that plays whenever you bring your guys to the surface too. It's not a loop, no, but it sticks with you. It's a moment. Divers has these moments that stick with you for a long time, and I think that's still worth putting in an A. Oh my god. It's Rail Heist time, baby. Oh my god, we are going to be swimming in bangers. My bias is going to come out here. All right. Rail Heist has this western theme. It shares with Grimstone. But Rail Heist, it gets you in the mood for shenanigans. It has these really fun, jaunty tracks, and there's like a good amount of them. I find it very easy to hum along to the Brand and Maria themes just from memory, and they'll get stuck in your head all the time too. And they're really well composed. They have the vibe that Rail Heist sets perfectly well, and they all live in my head. There's no bad songs in Rail Heist. Yeah, again, this is an S tier. Absolutely. Amazing soundtrack. It has everything. VAINGER. Alright, this is the big one. I have to decide right now. Is VAINGER S? Or do we create a VAINGER tier? And I'm thinking we make a VAINGER tier, baby. This soundtrack bangs. It rocks my socks, dude. Trust me, I mean it when I say every song in VAINGER grabs your attention right away and doesn't let go. The music for Theta Sector and the music for Verde Sector are some of my favorite songs in all of UFO 50. Bar none. Better than Velgress, better than Mooncat, better than Campanella, Warptank, everything in S tier. These first two songs, or first, the intro technically counts. The intro's great too. Theta and Verde Sector are so goddamn good. It's shocking how good they are. It's an incredible first impression for a game. VAINGER is in its own tier above S. And I'm keeping it there. I'm keeping it there. I think it deserves it. VAINGER freaking rules. It's my number 2 favorite game in the collection. We're not at number 1 yet. But yeah, I think VAINGER deserves its own tier. Nobody will argue that VAINGER has amazing music. If you do, what, huh? Did you hear it? Do you have ears? So yeah, that's VAINGER. Rock on Island. Okay, back to normalcy. The words I want to use for Rock on Island, I wrote this down, are simple and effective. This soundtrack is really reminiscent of games that were made a few years ago in the collection, like Camouflage and Attactics. It has really good songs in the vein that they're catchy, they have a good variety to them. Like, you think of the map, and you think of the wave theme, and it lives in its own world that you come back to, and you're like, well, I wanna explore that a little more. So I don't think it quite gets to S, but I think it's A tier. I think, like Divers, it has a very strong variety of tracks, and especially drum-oriented runs. I like the percussion on this in this album a lot. Rock On lands an A. I think that's great. Pingolf. Oh man, I love playing Pingolf. Believe me, I do. I want to like this soundtrack more. But besides that first gameplay track, which is really good, really catchy, I don't think the rest of the soundtrack really sticks with me. That main track is a banger, but I don't think I could give it like an A or an S. I think B is good for Pingolf. Great song, don't get me wrong, great song, but everything else around it, like the character select screen and the results, are just kind of, yeah, they're there. They're good. I do like them, but they're not like A tier of like, oh, this is a great body of work here. Not really. You have one good song. You have one good song in it, so that's B. Mortol 2, okay. This is similar to Mortol 1, but it has expanded a bit. It has an array of tracks that I would call contemplative. You know, they make you think. They're adventurous, dark, and they make you think. And that, I think, is what drives me to like Mortol 2 more than Mortol 1. But even with that suite of excellent tracks, you know, for the Warrior, the Scout, I love the Scout song, the Engineer, I don't think it cracks S tier. I don't think it's like the whole soundtrack is amazing, but I do think it has a lot of good songs in it. I would give it an A. I think this soundtrack is underrated. I think people are sleeping on this one. I think they're so obsessed with Mortol 1's amazing track that they're sleeping on the other great tracks in Mortol 2. But yeah, A tier. So another sippy. Oh yeah, I need a sippy for this. Yeah, I'm double sipping for Fistel. Okay. Fistel. The absolute best part about Fistel is the soundtrack. And wow, it has a lot of tracks. You know, memorable, evocative tunes for two types of people. The Halloween spooky atmosphere, because, you know, you're fighting zombies and werewolves and aliens and shit. And you got the action-y beat-em-up crowd. And my personal favorites, the Southside theme, down, 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 like, that's great. And you even get the You get the synths to kind of lead you more into, like, something is wrong. It's unsettling, but it's also fun. It's funny. And the mansion theme, the very last song before, you know, the final boss. I struggle playing the game occasionally, especially in single player. In 2-player, it's a lot more manageable. But I do. I boot up Fistel just for the music. And there's a great variety of them. I think all the tracks in Fistel are great. The Subway, the Darkwood, everything in it's great. I think it deserves to be an S, like Rail Heist. You might not agree with, like, how I would rank the game itself. Obviously, I would not put Fistel as a game in S. But in terms of its soundtrack, it's hard to beat. It's really good. It's really excellent music. Overbold. Oh, man. This one kind of saddened me a bit, because this is another one of my favorite games in the whole collection, because of its mechanics and how good it feels to play. So I am biased. Overbold is top 3 for me in the whole collection, but it only has 2 tracks. And they are both very interesting. Not amazing, edge of your seat, you know, cream your jeans. Great. Not S tier, certainly not. But they're interesting. The Red Arena has a lot of dynamism in how it demands you to play patiently and intensely at the same time, kind of like luring the enemy threats to you in real time. The shop is probably my second favorite shop theme in the whole collection. It's a treat getting to it and kind of like betting against myself. It feels good. Even when you know what you're doing in Overbold, like I do because I've played it a lot, just hearing that shop theme makes me feel like I'm really in it. I wish there was a different track for the final boss, or maybe like a B variant, an alternate variant of the arena theme, like a blue arena or something, I don't know. Just, I feel like Overbold could be bigger and better, and because of that, I'm gonna give it a B for Overbold. Campanella 2, okay. So, let's get it all out of the way. Campanella 2 is Spelunky 3. They put Spelunky 3 in UFO 50, haha. So, all the Campanella games have amazing music. And this one is no exception. The Burrows theme is such an unassuming start. But even before that, you have intro music, you have map music, and then you have a bunch of levels after that. And when you get to a cave for the first time, and you realize you're playing like a side-scroller shooter inside the caves, and it has like an amazing song, it's bliss from there. And it only gets better. The songs that come after that are even better. Special mention to the, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Valpolis. The Valpolis theme, the city theme. That's another of my favorite songs in the entire collection. Oh my god, the city theme is so beautiful. And the ending theme, too. The ending theme is gorgeous. Like, those are beautiful composed pieces for Eric to make. And he just filled the soundtrack with other bangers, too. So yes, Campanella 2 is also an S. Abso-freaking-lutely. S-tier soundtrack. Bravo. Bravo, Eric Circa. Hyper Contender. This game has my favorite character select screen. That theme is good. And it's for a fighting game. So that's pretty hype. It's got that going for it. I love fighting games. That being said, I don't really like any of the arena themes. There's 3 arena themes, and I don't find myself vibing with them all that well. And they don't stick out in my head, besides the one Eric linked a long time ago, Arena C. That one I kind of like, but it's not gonna draw my attention. I'm not gonna say, I want to listen to the Hyper Contender soundtrack right now. I don't. So, truthfully, I'm gonna have to give it a C. So it has a great character select screen, it has that going for it. Everything else is just kind of good for what it is, I guess. But I don't find myself coming back to it frequently. That's C tier. Oh gosh, Valbrace. Okay. Talk about unique styles going for it. This is the dungeon crawler in the collection, right? So it's the only one. It's got to have something good going for it. It's not the only RPG. We're going to get the Grimstone. But Valbrace has a dungeon crawler aspect, and it's also got, like, action combat. But there's no, like, combat theme. You're still hearing the dungeon music. And the dungeon music and the hive and the boss themes are incredible. They're awesome pieces. Like, really stick in your head forever. Dun, 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 dun. And the hive, dude, I listen to the Hive soundtrack. I listened to that song so many times. It's down, 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 down. I love the bass in that song. Oh my god. You're gonna hear these songs over and over again because you're exploring these massive floors, and they're great. They're great, catchy songs. And I come back to listen to Valbrace's soundtrack all the freaking time, dude. That's an S. Valbrace is S tier. Just in case you weren't noticing, I didn't order these by, like, how high on the tier they are, but just in order of when I added them. So, everything in here, just assume it's all the same level of S and the same level of A. I'm not going through and individually saying, oh, Overbold's better than Pingolf, better than... whatever. It's just, it's in B tier, alright? Just how that works. But Valbrace, yeah, absolutely, that's S. So far, nothing stopped VAINGER. Will anything? I don't know. Rakshasa, okay. So you got... the words I wrote down are mysterious, dark, and mystical. Those are words I would describe Rakshasa with. Very fitting that this soundtrack is mostly atmospheric, but reminds me of similar older games like Ghosts and Goblins, which is one of the inspirations for it, the other probably being Karnov, but also Ninja Spirit. I want to point this out because I love Ninja Spirit. I'm a big TurboGrafx enjoyer. I wouldn't say the songs in Rakshasa are particularly catchy, but I think about them a lot. And they get me in the mood of the game. It fits the game extremely well. And there's this big moment that Eric does super, super well, where he deliberately chose the first stage, and it's in the soundtrack, you can listen to this, stage 1A, is just environmental noises. And the cheep, 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 it's just that, and it's silence. And then you get to the first encounter, and it's this big red demon, and you're like, oh god, yeah, this is what the game is. And then bum, 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 you get the 1B music. And it's great. It's very cool. And you just get a lot of good songs after that. So I think that works for me. I think what Eric was trying to do for Rakshasa really works for me. I'm going to give this one an A also. Underrated soundtrack. Really good stuff in here. Star Waspir. Okay, so I put Caramel in S, right? I'm a shmup lover. I like shmups. I have a lot of fun playing this game. And a good chunk of that is because of the music. I do like booting up Star Waspir to listen to the music. They have a lot of drive and momentum to them, except for the last one. They have very good use of percussion, which I was hoping for. I pointed that out when Eric posted the teaser, or I guess Derek posted the teaser of Eric's music 5 years ago in 2019. And that song that they posted is nowhere in the game. It's just gone, deleted. Unfortunate. So, yeah, that's going to lower my rating because I really like that song. And another problem I don't like in Star Waspir is that the last track is... It's emblematic of the theme of the game, and it ties into what the ending represents. So, obviously, if you haven't played beaten Star Waspir, you don't really know what I mean, but it kind of ends on a sour note. kind of poops it out there. Farts, wet fart, you know. So, you have a bunch of good songs that I come back to frequently, and then you have bleh. So, yeah, unfortunately, Waspir's gonna go in B for bleh. I can't give it A, even if I like a bunch of the songs above. Like, I've come back to Star Waspir to enjoy those tracks as frequently as I have Rakshasa and the A tier guys. But it's just the last track and the missing teaser just lower it a letter grade for me, unfortunately. It's more, like, disappointing that it's not better, you know? That's really what it is. But still better than the C tier stuff, in my opinion. Like, overall, it has good stuff. Grimstone. Okay. I love the cowboy western theming in Rail Heist and Grimstone, so they both share that. But this game gets additional points because it has even more songs. It's a huge game. It's massive. And the songs that you hear a lot, the town and the overworld themes are iconic. And they give this game this identity that you know, oh, that's Grimstone. That's absolutely Grimstone. Even against Rail Heist, you're like, oh, yeah, that's Grimstone. It's got this sort of vibe that it's going for, and it nails it. This soundtrack is fantastic. Demonic. The horseback song, which is actually just Paint Chase's verses brought back, but it's so cool to hear it again. It's got that. It's got so many good songs, but especially the town and Overworld, absolutely. See, I don't think I can give Grimstone less than an S. I think it's got an amazing, big, varied, impressive soundtrack for what it's doing. Yeah, Grimstone is S. Abso-freaking-lutely. Lords of Diskonia, okay. There's only a couple songs in Diskonia, but they're all pretty great. For like a relatively simple strategy game, and especially the battle theme. Like, I hum that. It's good. It's good. I wish it had more. Kind of like Overbold and Star Waspir. I think this deserves a B. You know, it's got a good song, and it's got a couple other good songs, but it doesn't cross the barrier into A, really. Good soundtrack, not great. Not like fantastic, phenomenal. I'm not gonna write home, oh, you guys should definitely listen to the Lords of Diskonia soundtrack. Nah, not really. The B tier's good, I think, for what it is. Night Manor. Whoo! Alright, so you guys know how I put Fistel in S for its atmosphere. And, yeah, more bias. Halloween is coming up in a week. And that's my favorite holiday. And October is my favorite time of the year. So, yeah, Night Manor is awesome. It has a really cool atmospheric soundtrack. I'm going to keep saying atmospheric. In all of UFO 50. Like, Eric outdid himself on this. Compared to all the other cool stuff he makes of all the deep, dark songs, Night Manor has, like, the best shit in it. It's S. The interior theme, the exterior, the basement. Ooh, boy. Ooh. Yeah, man. It's great. Night Manor's S. Abso-freaking-lutely. It's S tier in my actual UFO list. This game rules. I love it. I really only had 2 problems with it, which I think could have been ironed out, but I have 0 problems with the soundtrack. The soundtrack is amazing for me. Even if it's not like the catchiest thing ever, they're so evocative of the mood the game is going for, which I think deserves to be an S. Elfazar's hat. Oh, man. Phenomenal first stage theme. Absolutely great first impression with Elfazar's hat. And stage 3 has a Magic Garden reference. Frost in Town or whatever has the music from Magic Garden a call back into it. Oh, and the Palace. The Palace music is really freaking good. It's an incredible final stage music and boss theme music combined. But I do think I like Caramel soundtrack better, and I come back to this one more frequently than I do Elfazar's. But I appreciate a lot of what it does. So I think A tier is great for Elfazar, honestly. Really, really great songs in here, but just not quite like S rank, you gotta listen to this amazing, you know, stuff. But boy, when people gush about Elfazar's Hat's soundtrack, they're not wrong. They're certainly not wrong. A tier for this. Also, it uses Waldorf's 2-player theme for the bonus stage. I just found that out yesterday. So, great. Good. It shares that song in there. Pilot Quest. Oh my freaking god. Do I even have to say anything? It's S. Pilot Quest has, like, the catchy, funkiest songs in UFO 50. They make you want to get up and groove. You know, the dungeon theme is kind of groovy in its own right. I would love to hear bass covers of the songs in Pilot Quest. You know, the home base, the overworld, or the walking around Zoldath. There are a few tracks in Pilot Quest, but they're all bangers. They're all great. This is S. Yeah, I don't have to say much. You've heard the music in Pilot Quest, I assume, if you're watching this video. You know it's good. You know it has great music. We're Pilot Quest guys. Of course we jam. Mini and Max. Okay. Damn, oh, this is one of the largest soundtracks in all of UFO 50. If you scroll through the Bandcamp and go down to Mini and Max, you're going to be scrolling for a while. It's huge. And it borrows a lot from previous tracks. especially Party House, you know, for obvious reasons. But the main tunes in here are awesome. The mini world, which you just, as soon as I say that you shrink in Mini and Max, that first song you hear, you guys already know what I'm talking about. And the Gear Face boss music, that music that Eric shared a while ago, it's in the game perfectly as it is. It's a great freaking song. Shout out to Val. I watched his personal tier list, and yeah, he was like, Glove, you better put Mini and Max in S, because Gear Face is his favorite song, like, ever. And, yeah, I got news for you, bud. It's S. It's Mini and Max. From a musical standpoint, this game has, like, everything you want and more. And I can't give it anything less than an S. Much like Rail Heist, I think every song in it's great. It all works. Also, just amazing game in UFO 50. Mini and Max. Awesome. Great composition work. Combat Ants. Okay. I can say good things about Combat Ants finally, right? I finally have a chance. Eric did a great job with the music in Combat Ants. You know, the briefing theme. It's got that. The map theme. Like, it's got that sort of exploratory synths that you like from some of the earlier games, but it's its own thing. It's got its own thing going on. And the battle theme is interesting. It starts very... It starts very small, but it builds into other stuff as you going through it. I don't know how best to describe it. I don't think it's A material, even though all the tracks are good. I think it could have been better. It has a 2-player theme that no one's gonna hear because no one plays Combat Ants 2-player, but it's all right. And yeah, the game is frustrating, but I still like the music. I think I'll give it a B. Yeah, I don't dislike the music in Combat Ants. I think it's quite good, but not A or S tier, certainly not. Quibble Race. Okay. I hope Quibbler doesn't shoot me for this one. Pretty much everybody loves Quibble Race. It's funny. It's addicting if you have a gambling addiction. I don't. But it's got great music. The gameplay track especially, that... It got modified a little bit from its original teaser form, but it does have a great vibe. It has me feeling nostalgic and debating on my next move while also, like, scheming a little bit. It's got a little bit of that going for it. And, I mean, it was so good, it survived its teaser form. It didn't get cut from the soundtrack. You know, the actual racing theme is pretty good. It's got a lot going for it. And I think it's better than Combat Ants in that regard. Yeah, I'll give it Quibble Race an A. It has good music. It has really good music. Much like Mortol 2, I think this is underrated soundtrack. I think people are going to look back on this and like, yeah, you know, Quibble Race has some great songs. The gameplay, though, especially. Alright, bias alert. I think you all, if you know me, you probably know what I'm going to say. Seaside Drive is my favorite game in all of UFO 50. I love it to pieces. All the songs are incredible. I'm like tearing up almost just talking about it. Every track is a banger. And some of the stage themes are like the catchiest songs I've ever heard in UFO 50. And I've ever heard from Eric that he's ever made. When I heard Stage 1 for the first time on booting up the game, and when I got to Stage 4 for the first time, I almost cried because of how lovely I thought they sounded. I thought they were incredible. They're just awesome. And that's not even mentioning the bonus stage, which comes back for Campanella 3. Really cool, too. Yeah, every song is good. Even the quiet nature of Stage 3 works. It works very well. So yeah, every song is banger. You know what I'm going to say? Oh, sorry, whoops. I fucked it up. No, I didn't mean to delete VAINGER. Shit, hold on. God damn it. Give me a second. I deleted VAINGER by accident. Get him back up there. Add a row. No, move up. Add a row above VAINGER. Seaside Drive, baby! It's the best soundtrack in UFO 50. It's even better than VAINGER. It's better than VAINGER. It's better than all these. It's better than all these. It's better than all these. It's better than these two. Sorry. Seaside Drive is the best goddamn soundtrack in UFO. I fucking love it. If it got, you know, triple S, it's a million S's for Seaside Slide. Just double S. triple S. Triple S for Seaside Drive. It's the best damn soundtrack. I've said enough good things about Seaside. Go listen to it right now. If you haven't heard all of Seaside Drive's soundtrack, go listen to it right now. Campanella 3. Much like other Campanella games, this has a bunch of catchy and memorable songs. The stage themes in here are awesome. They kept using them in the marketing and the trailers for UFO 50 that they started putting on, like, Twitter, and I think it's also in the Steam trailer, I'm not sure. But yeah, Polyanka, the first stage, and Astralin are total bangers, but, massive but here. See, Campanella 3 has the most disappointing and depressing ending out of every game in UFO 50. And it's by design. It's intentional. They put it there on purpose, but it is the worst ending theme. I hate it. It's depressing. It's like a hollow callback to Campanella 1 and 2 to show how bad the lore implications are for UFO Soft. But it makes me uncomfortable and it makes me sad. So thanks, Eric. I hate it. A tier. All the other songs are great, but man, I hate that ending theme. Man, I really hate it. It's one of the few songs in UFO 50 I hate listening to. I would skip it. I would skip it on the soundtrack. Thanks, Eric. Cyber Owls. God, fucking cracked soundtrack, honestly. The stage select, the FM synths that we get, all the Owls level theme. Oh, the rescue music. Oh, dude, I'm sad we don't get the rescue music in the main game. If you do really well in Cyber Owls, you're never gonna get to hear the rescue music. But I really, really like it. Very cool stuff in here. And Eric went, like, all out. Because I think when they realized that Cyber Owls... Well, I think Cyber Owls was always meant to be the last game in the collection. Because Cheetah Men 2 is, like, the last game in Action 52. But, yeah. This is S. Great freaking soundtrack. All around. I love Cyber Owls music. Thinking about it right now is just like, man, I want to play Cyber Owls again. I want to hear Octavio's level. I want to hear Engel's level. I even want to hear Gwyn's level. I like that song. I don't like the stealth. I don't like the level, but I like that song. I think I just triggered somebody. Somebody who's tried to cherry Cyber Owls just got really mad. Like, I could hear them in the distance. It's me, I tried. But that's it. That's the whole shebang. From Barbuta to Bug Hunter to Ninpek, all the others, C, B, A, S. VAINGER and Seaside Drive both got their own tiers because they're just so above everything else, in my opinion. But that's it. That's all the music in UFO 50. All the soundtracks ranked by me, Glove. If you want to complain to me, or if you want to talk about your favorite songs, leave a comment. Or hop in the Discord. 50games.fans. Come discuss with me. Talk about how good the damn music is. And that's it for me. All right. I've been Glove. Have a good night. Take it easy.